Welcome back to the channel. Lynn's here. If you are new, I live in North Texas. It's about 6:30 this morning, trying to beat the heat some. So it's one of the last days of June. I see a little bunny. What was I saying? We're high 90s. We hit 100 this week. It is hot, hot, hot. So wanted to get out here, show you what's happening in the garden. So we have lots of squash coming out, but it's getting hot. So this is July. August is typically when actually my garden struggles. So let's take a look. Here is a floret that's starting to open up. Same with that cutie right there. The sunrise wanted to join us this morning on this garden tour, a little flower harvest. Look at this pumpkin. This is one plant. Little baby right there. And some of it is taking over this raised bed. And then some of it is wrapping around this raised bed. But these are some florets actually as well, zinnias that I transplanted them. I dug them up from a spot. I'll show you. We talked about it in my last garden tour and moved them into this raised bed. So they're very small and kind of puny, but I think with time they'll establish nicely. Same with over here. More zinnias along this backside, and have a tomato plant. So it's kind of a bummer now the temperatures are getting so hot. You know, this is when tomato blossoms will start dropping. Sorry, I saw this bug. I don't know what kind of bug it is. Okra, it's growing nicely. Eggplant's probably getting too hot for. And then more okra over here. So this is my squash, one of my squash beds. Been pulling out lots of squash. Yesterday had some patty pans and some yellow squash. I don't think any of these are the size to be picked. I got them all yesterday, I think. So yellow squash, patty pan squash. Let me get over here. I saw some little ones and they're just the cutest when they're so little. So fun. First year growing patty pan squash. This is actually a floret celosia I stuck in the corner. I got antique rose and dusty rose. Let's see, just some herbs. Spider. I see tiny. I mean, my cherry tomatoes have been successful this year, but I haven't got any big tomatoes yet, and now it's just getting so hot. It's a holy basil. I don't know what type of basil this is. Just more what I'll be using for culinary versus that. I'm using more for cut flowers. And then sage. So I have another pumpkin plant over here that's not as great as its neighbor over here, but still doing well. Cosmos, I mean, I have been waiting and still don't have any cosmos yet. So hopefully they bloom here soon. Half of this, as you can see, is sweet potatoes that I am trying to get to choke out this Bermuda grass in this bed. We have more squash over here. Let me take a look. Again, I did the harvesting of my squash yesterday. I might have missed some. It's like a jungle. And then we have some tomatillos. Finally starting to see some tomatillos on this plant. I've been having lots of blooms. But I haven't been seeing a ton of tomatillos. So there's a few. Cucumber plant. So yesterday I grabbed 2 cucumbers that I just way missed. They're pickling cucumbers, so they're not super like long. So So they only were about 6-7 inches long. A bunch of baby cucumbers. But it seemed about just as wide as it was long. It was pretty funny. So got little baby ones. So these are sweet, I guess like banana, wax peppers is what I think, Hungarian wax peppers, just sweet. These were jalapenos. That's a jalapeno as well. Let's see if I see any big cucumbers. I don't see any big ones. That's a sad sweet pepper plant. This is why, well, I guess I'll get there in a minute. My huge yellow squash. Ooh, that one on the bottom is ready for me. Okay, I need to get that. Pretty good size and kind of interesting. All my yellow squash has been kind of having like a greenish tinge. I can't believe how big the flower is still. That was gonna get to be a big squash. See how it has a little bit of a green hue to it? Interesting. So this is where those floret zinnias were. But as I mentioned in my last video, the soil was not rich enough. I mean, we have clay soil. That's why I garden in raised beds. The celotias were doing all right, so I left them. But I transplanted all the floret zinnias, so they're a little stunted right now. And then I put beans, a bush bean, in their place. Let's see, I had status over here. I see a little bit of color. We are going to be harvesting some of the status. Not much. And then there's some in here, a little bit. Gosh, I really need a weed. Guess that's on the agenda this weekend. There's nothing in this bed and nothing really in this bed either. But yeah, I definitely need a weed these raised beds. Gosh, look at that. Good morning, wherever you are. So stunning. is a variety of zinnia, Cinderella peach. I mean, there are some that look better than this, but I won't be growing this again next year. I'm going to do like a little recap. As a first year flower farmer, I really wanted to focus on the growing aspect. I'm definitely going to go for like the Benaries. Not this long. It's cute, little accent, if you were making an arrangement, but not wowy enough. Actually noticed these volunteered sunflowers up here are starting to get covered in aphids, and some of them are dropping on my zinnias. So I left them because they're pretty. They're just volunteered, but those got to go. So something to add to the list. These are supposed to all be Queenie Lime Blush. I know. I think orange got mixed in there. But look at this. All the blush I can do it, so can you. Until next time. Bye, friends.